Hey everyone, this is Allison. I'm going to do a couple of screencasts in a row here to kind of show off some of the new features of sliders in Storyline 2. So this is the very first one, and I'm going to show you how to use a slider to change states of an object, like we do here. So our slider changes the state of our illustrated person. So to do this is actually quite easy. Here's our slide, and all we really have is a slider, some labels for our states, and our illustrated character with several built-in states. So let's build this slide together. Alright, so the first thing we want to insert is our slider, and you can find the sliders under the controls panel here. There are 3 different types. I'll just go with this one. And we can draw out our slider. Now there's a lot you can do for the way sliders look, and we'll go over that in another screencast in a bit. But for now we're just going to focus on these properties of the slider. That's the variable and the start and end. So what this does is it allows you to kind of define how many stops along the way the slider will have. We want our slider to have 4 states because our character is going to have 4 different states. So we'll start at 1 and we'll end at 4, and we'll step 1 along the way. And our variable here is slider 2, which it automatically generated, and you can also change this variable to be something custom just by dropping this down here. Alright, so we have our slider created. Now let's go ahead and insert an illustrated character. And the reason I chose these illustrated characters for this is that they're already, they come with some built-in states that makes this a little bit easy to demo. So here we want to give her some states, and we can choose which those are. So let's make her happy first, and then let's give her stressed. Then let's give her disappointed, and talking. Alright, so we have 4 states here: happy, stressed, disappointed, and talking. And then we can go ahead and label where those will be along our slider. So the first will be happy. Let's put them up here so we have a little more room. Second will be stressed, disappointed, and talking. Those will be our labels for steps along the way. Now the only thing we have to do that's remaining is to connect the slider to the states on our illustrated character, and that's quite easy to do. You just need a couple of triggers. So the trigger will be that we will change the state of our character to whatever we want the state to be. So our first state is happy when the slider moves, and the cool things about the triggers on the sliders is that it gives you a condition right here. You don't have to go into this condition box. So we want it to be when the slider is equal to 1, which is the very first point. This one's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we can just copy and paste that a few times. So our second state, we want to change her to stressed when our slider is equal to 2. We want to change her to disappointed when our slider is equal to 3. And we want to change her to talking when our slider is equal to 4. Alright, and that's it. You can go ahead and preview. And there it is. And that's how you can use a slider to change states in Storyline 2.